Hi guys, my name is Tomas, your wine and whiskey tuber, and in today's video I'm going to talk about the biggest myths and misconceptions about Irish whiskey. So, let's get started! Before we start, many thanks to the Corkscrew Wine and Spirit Merchants and the Whiskey Reserve for helping me with this video. And if you're watching my channel for the first time, please consider to subscribe. Myth number 1. All Irish whiskey are triple distilled. In the past, most of Irish whiskies used to be triple distilled, mainly thanks to the big players such as Middleton or Bushmills distilleries. Nowadays, there's a lot of Irish whiskey that also double distilled, including Tyrconnell, Blackwater, Conemmara peated whiskey, or Jack Ryan Shelbourne Single Malt. The biggest Irish distillery that is producing double distilled malts is Cooley Distillery, founded in 1987 by John Teeling in County Louth. By the way, if you are a serious whiskey lover, check out my previous video about 15 Irish whiskey terms that you need to know. Links can be found here or in the description below. Myth number 2. All Irish whiskies are spelled with E. Well, the vast majority of Irish whiskey is spelled with E. However, the Irish law allowed to label the Irish whiskey with the E or without the E, or even as Uisce Beathe Eireannach, which means Irish whiskey in Irish language. The best examples of Irish whiskey that are spelled without an E are Waterford, founded in 2016, and Blackwater, established in 2014. Fun fact, did you know that the Paddy whiskey was also spelled without an E? This famous Irish whiskey from County Cork had an E only in the 1960s. Myth number 3. Irish whiskey is smoother than Scotch. Well, there's a lot of Irish whiskey that taste smooth and are easy to drink. Historically speaking, Scotch whiskey is double distilled and Irish whiskey was triple distilled. In fact, that extra distillation gives Irish whiskey slightly smoother finish. However, nowadays there's a lot of Irish whiskey that is also double distilled, including Conemmara, Tyrconnell, some of the two stacks, or Jack Ryan Shelbourne Single Malt. On the other hand, Irish producers have definitely more flexibility compared to Scottish in terms of using different type of oak for maturing their water of life. In Ireland we can use apple oak, chestnut oak, mulberry oak, or even cherry oak. Lastly, in Ireland you can also find cask-strength whiskey, different type of single malts, or even peated whiskey, and all these elements have a huge impact on the style and taste of Irish whiskey, meaning that not all Irish whiskey are smooth and easy to drink. Myth number 4. Irish whiskey is matured for 3 years and 1 day. In fact, the vast majority of Irish whiskey, including single grain, single pot still, single malt or blended whiskey, is aged for longer than 3 years in order to add extra complexity and flavors to water of life. Only in the last 120 years the minimum period of maturation Irish whiskey was changed 3 times and goes back to the First World War. In the 1915, when Ireland was still part of the United Kingdom, the maturation period of Irish whiskey was set at 2 years only. After Ireland got its independence from England, the Irish distilleries made it 5 years process. However, these changes nearly killed the industry and especially the cash flow of the distilleries. Finally, in 1969, after a really long process, the Irish law was changed and the maturation of Irish whiskey was reduced to 3 years. Nowadays, both Irish and Scottish whiskey must be matured for a minimum of 3 years. Myth number 5. Irish whiskey is not peated. This is one of the biggest misconceptions about Irish whiskey. In fact, Ireland have really long history of making peated whiskey. According to the whiskeymagazine.com, in the early 80s, 5 of 33 legal distilleries in Ireland used peat to dry out malted barley. The modern history of peated whiskey began in 1996 when Cooley Distillery launched their first peated single malt. Nowadays there's nearly 40 different brands producing peated Irish whiskey. The most iconic Irish peated whiskey is Midleton Very Rare Silent Distillery Collection, which has been aged for 45 years. And I can tell you the secret, you can taste this whiskey for only €10,000 a glass at Whiskey Reserve. Cheers! The last and probably the most controversial myth is that the whiskey was invented in Scotland. Well, the term aqua vitae, water of life, was mentioned for the first time 700 years ago. In 1324, an Irish bishop near beautiful city of Kilkenny published the Red Book of Ossory, which holds the earliest recorded recipe for distilling aqua vitae. In fact, the aqua vitae, the water of life known today as whiskey, at this time was mostly used for medical purposes. On the other hand, the first mention of Scotch whiskey took place in 1494 in the Exchequer Rolls of Scotland, meaning that the water of life was invented in Ireland. However, that doesn't change the fact that both nations, Scotch and Irish, have the greatest impact of the beginning of whiskey production. Sláinte! Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I'm enjoying my glass of Irish whiskey at the moment. By the way, check out my earliest video about Irish whiskey, including 15 Irish whiskey terms that you need to know and 5 best places for glass of whiskey in Dublin City. In the meantime, stay tuned, don't forget to subscribe, and see you next time!